What's up YouTube, it's your boy Stans here, and welcome back to another Pokemon deck profile here on the channel. And as you guys can see via the thumbnail, spelled correctly this time, and via what you guys are looking at today, we are looking at another Garbodor deck profile, a different variant from last week's. Last week we played it with Tauros, basically the whole quote big basics, but instead of being the winning formula like Drampa, we went with, of course, Tauros. But this is a different variant this week, and let's go ahead and get started with it so we can take a look at it. So, to start things off, we have our 4 Trubbish with Stomp Off. Now, a lot of people choose to play the Acid Spray instead. Completely agree with them. I think it's a good card. I personally like Stomp Off to discard the top card of their deck, though. So, Stomp Off Trubbish is my choice. And then, of course, the standard. I am playing 3 Trashalanche. In this version of the deck, usually people play 4 Trashalanche. So I decided to still play the formula of course, playing Garbotoxin, and it's won me quite a few games as well. So, the 1 copy of Garbotoxin, of course, once it has a item attached to it, it shuts down abilities. So this is good against the Volcanion matchup. It's good against Tapu Koko, ironically. I didn't really think I was going to run into Tapu Koko that much, but I did, and it shut down Tapu Koko and won me a few games. Then we play, this is our partner of crime. In this version, we play 4 copies of Eevee. So it does have the Energy Evolution ability. Once you attach an energy, depending on the energy, it evolves into that Pokemon right away. Now in this case, we do 3 copies of Espeon GX. Of course, the first attack for 1 Psychic, it does Psybeam, 30 damage. Your opponent's Pokemon is now confused. For a Psychic and double colors Psychic, it does 60 base plus 30 for every energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. And of course, Divide GX for the same cost as Psychic and a double colorless. It go ahead and puts 10 damage counters, basically all across the board wherever you want. In total, 10 damage counters. But of course, since everything is a stage 1, we decided to go with the rest of the EEVEELUTIONS. So we're playing Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, and each one of these gives your stage 1 Pokemon basically that typing. And I know it goes against the Garbotoxin, but of course, you just gotta be smart of how you play it. If you know the matchup doesn't really need the Garbotoxin, you get rid of the Garbotoxin. But of course, if it does need it, of course you do play it. Now, I am still stuck on this lineup of support Pokemon. I'm still playing 2 Shaman EX for the setup ability. Of course, that'll change once it rotates out and we start leaning towards more Tapu Lele. But of course, we play 1 copy of Tapu Lele with the Wonder Tag ability. But of course, Energy Drive is also great itself. Wonder Tag, of course, once you play it onto your bench, you grab yourself a supporter card from your deck and add it into your hand. Energy Drive is just like X-Ball, just like Arrow Ball. 20 for every energy attached to both active Pokemon. But that is my Pokemon lineup right there. So let's go ahead and get started with the supporter lineup. We're going to go ahead and play 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Professor Sycamore lets you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Then we play 3 copies of N. Of course, N lets both, or it makes both players shuffle their hand into the deck, and of course draw the cards as to the remaining amount of prize cards each player has. So if I have 4, my opponent has 2, they draw 2 cards, I draw 4. Then I play 2 copies of Lysander. So this is going to be the difference from last week's video. I did play 3 Lysander in last week's video just to be overly aggressive. I haven't decided if I want to go that route in this deck just yet. So we just did the standard 4-3-2 of supporters. But of course, with Tapu Lele, I want to take advantage of 1 card and 1 card only, and that's going to be Pokemon Fan Club. People choose to either play this or bridge it. I think in this particular deck, Fan Club is a lot better. In the big basic build, I would probably go with a Bridget route. And then we play 1 copy of Hex Maniac to shut down abilities. Even though we're playing the Garbotoxin, it's just 1 copy of Garbotoxin, so we're not going to see that all the time. And then for items, I know we're playing Trashalanche, but of course we have to be careful with how we play things. We are playing 4 copies of VS Seeker. Of course, this is to go ahead and grab ourselves any of the supporters we just showed off. and use them if we need to again. Then, of course, we play 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball lets you discard 2 cards and search your deck for a Pokemon added into your hand. So it lets you search Shaymins, Lele's, a Garbodor if you need it, maybe even one of the EEVEELUTIONs, stuff like that. Then we play 3 copies of Choice Band. Choice Band, of course, you attach it to your Pokemon, and its attacks are doing 30 more damage if it's attacking a EX or GX Pokemon. Then we play 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. Of course, Rescue Stretcher has 2 ways to play it. One's like a Super Rod for only Pokemon, and one just straight up just puts that Pokemon from your discard pile back into your hand. And then we're playing 2 Field Blowers. Since we're playing Trash Launch, we want to get rid of those item cards, those pesky Fighting Fury Belts, Choice Bands, and stuff like that. But of course, if there's a stadium that's blocking us or stopping us from doing progressing our game state, of course we want to play the Field Blower to get rid of that as well. And then the last items that we are playing is 2 copies of Floatstone. Of course, one you want to attach to the Garbotoxin, the other one, of course, to anything that you want to get rid of, depending on if it has a retreat cost or not. So, if, for example, the Jolteon does not, Flareon and Vaporeon do. But going into the energy count, we go ahead and play 7 Psychic Energies. Now, this is where I've debated changing things up, either playing 8, playing 7. I don't know the right number for you. But 4 copies of Double Colorless. Of course, that's something that doesn't really change. It's just the Psychic count that might change depending on how often you'll see Sylveon, or something that gets rid of energies like hammers and stuff like that, since we don't really have anything to actually put things back into our deck. But of course, that goes into where we potentially might see some different changes. I've thought about playing the 3rd Lysander. I've thought about dropping a Professor Sycamore. I've thought about playing the 8th Energy. I've thought about playing Brock's Grit to get back energies. So there's an array of different things to play. But of course, this is just a skeleton, and you guys do what you want with this. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys next time for some more Pokemon videos here on the channel. Peace!